Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a second since I posted. Today I want to show you how quickly you can set up some end-to-end tests with today using Cursor. This is going to be a short introduction video of me getting back into posting. So with that, we'll get into it. You are looking at a code base that is a simple support app, personal project I've been playing around with. I need to figure out which clients I'm allowed to post and content. But what we're going to do is we're going to quickly just add some end-to-end tests to it in a way that is much more faster than it's ever been before. So first thing we need to do to this code base is add Playwright. The code base is TypeScript. It uses convex for a backend. And then I want to say the front end is Vite, but I can look about that in a second. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is install Playwright. What we do want to do though is we probably want to make a new folder called test. We're going to cd into test, so we're going to install Playwright. Actually, let's stop that, because we did not cd into test, because we made a file. Move to trash, yep, test. So again, we're going to stop that, because I can't type. Cd test, TypeScript, test, false for now, and then true. Okay, so it's going to install Playwright. Realizing that the text might be a tad small, so we're going to have to figure that out. Potentially a different video. If I make it bigger for now, does that look bigger to you guys? Might be. Okay, so as you can see, it's installed. All right, so what we're going to first do is we're going to add some page object models. So we're going to do a POM, and then we're going to say, make me a POM file for the sign-in page. And write locators and a POM file. It's going to find that you have attribute. Let's do this though. So let's just pull in the context here. So it's going to figure out where the sign-in form is. It's making a POM. Great. All these good enough for now. Also does all your methods, which is quite nice. Also created, oh funny, that's going to make an index thing, which is fine. Oh funny, now it's making tests. Test, sign it. Cool. Okay, and then let's go ahead and tell it where the dev environment is. Yeah, this is fine, right? There's a much better way of doing this by putting it as a project variable. But once again, just for getting a first test case going, npx playwright test, debug. Let's see where it's trying to run them. Okay, so it's not on your screen, so it's running them on a different screen. So let me just see if it works. It verified all of it. Okay, since you can't see it, let's do this. No debug. So it's running 5 workers, 21 tests, bunch of failures. I'm assuming probably because it doesn't have valid creds, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, but I'm just curious. What fails, how doesn't fail? And we can turn on probably better reporters and stuff like that. 21 passed. So how did 21 tests pass? It should sign in unless these creds somehow work, or the verify is not working. It's clicking submit, but it's not working. Okay, so let's go back and look at the actual test just because. And then let's do this. Yeah, see, there's no error. There's no error messaging. So let's go ahead and just sign up with creds. So we'll do Ben at, I'll do Ben plus 1 work with loop. And I'll say example. Oh, funny. Once again, this is a side project. Signups now? Invalid password. All right. We're going to go back to our automation and we're going to tell it valid creds are Ben plus 2 at workwithloop.com. Password is. Obviously, you should put this in EN, but this is not anything that's hosted locally or anything hosted online. Okay, the next problem with these test cases, obviously, that it's not really verifying anything because they just stop when you hit submit. So we're going to add that. Okay, add a POM for the left nav and that to, I can't actually see that because my screen's off. Use that to verify. Once again, probably not the best way to do it, but we're just not worrying about perfection. We're just trying to get a 30 or 40 smoke and sanity tests in place. So while that's working, you can see, right, so here's your left nav. So now it's making your left nav POM. Oh, I just realized my face was just right over all of this. So that's probably a bit better, isn't it? Okay. Don't judge me. That's making it in the video. All right, we've now seen that it's added the left nav and it's added some expecs. Oh, funny. It's trying to be helpful, and to a certain extent it probably is, but it's basically trying to write all the test cases you would use for the left nav too. And you can see it's smart enough to know it needs to sign in. Some of it, though, is inherently wrong in the sense that it really has no idea how many tickets are there, so there's obviously like problems. But we will work through those. All right, so let's run this again. App title to be visible. So we got 15 passes, 21, and 6 failures. I should show, did any test cases pass? All right, should handle with valid creds. Okay, so that's 39. So what we're going to do is we're going to run test case 39. One. Oh, okay. Next thing, let's do really quick. We're going to comment out all the other projects. So it's not trying to run in all the browsers. No. That went too fast. I know you can't see the actual browser, so I'm going to fix this in a different video. But it's opening the browser, put in creds, click to sign in, and it should see the left nav, and it sees that. Okay, interesting. So what happened is this right here. So it basically would match to 2. So here's what's interesting about that. Let's do this. Let's go here, and then let's put in the error message. And then say add test IDs to the left nav so this isn't a problem. It probably could have been clearer. Basically, it worked, but it matched to 2 locators, therefore it didn't work. What you can see is it's going into the left nav component, and if we go look at it, you should see now it's added data test ID. Now what it'll do is it'll keep working through that, and then it'll go ahead and actually update the page object model itself. I need to find probably better things to do when this is quiet and just like working. Maybe I'll cut it out. If you can give me feedback on this video of whether or not you want me just to leave the AI component while it's working, or if I should cut it, that would be super helpful. It continues. Now, in future videos, for the record, I'll show component tests and a bunch of other testing layers that would be running as it's making these changes, because some people are probably looking at this and saying, like, you're not verifying any of it. And like, generally, that's partly because I trust it at this point pretty well, and we're going to do some other test cases, and normally because I have a bunch of component tests that also would be firing at this point. Cool. Now we've jumped back into our test layer, and we have updated the locators to use IDs. You can see now they all have test IDs. And then what we're going to do is we will run the test case again. We don't even need to run it in debug mode, probably. And it passed. Right. Now what we're going to do... Oh, wait. Why is that recording my voice? It's still recording my voice. Okay. All right. 1 failed. Fail. So let's go actually look. It's basically the anonymous, which I don't really use anyways, but we'll see. So it clicked and worked. So why did the test case fail? It expected visible, it got hidden. So according to the user perspective, it seems like it works. Manually seems to work. Let's see what it does. Oh, it's expecting user info. Test issue. Yeah, so it's already identified that it's a test issue and that it's doing an anonymous user, so their query should not be user info most likely. Now it's made, a separate method, which is probably overkill. Okay, now we're going to run it again. Why it's only running 7 tests before it was running on 3 browsers. Cool, 27 passes. So I'll go through all those tests, probably by myself in a little bit. But for the sake of just like showing speed of getting test coverage, let's jump to the left nav tests. These should be quite fast, and generally I think are not really necessary because Left Nav will get pretty extensively tested when you're doing other things. Those say that they work. We're going to trust it for now. Same thing. Go through all these tests yourself. But let's jump into the app. Let's create a ticket now. So what we're going to do is, let's say, make a new POM for the create ticket page. It will find it in the code base. For the record, some people are probably going to argue like this is a very small code base. This works with very large code bases, and it can find them in very large code bases. I'm just using this as an example because I don't have a very large code base available to me that I can put into a YouTube video right now. In the meantime, just because I enjoy it, we can run our whole suite. Side note, we also don't have any before eaches or teardowns, which we should probably do. You're not even doing like any of the data side of things, which you should probably do. This is a hyper simple example of doing it, but once again, I think the point is what I'm trying to make is just the overall availability of the tools. It's trying to be proactive and making some example test cases. And let's see how it did. What am I missing here? Okay, so some failed. We will see why they failed. 4 failed, and our new test cases should require all mandatory fields, should create basic ticket support. It looks like they are all the strict mode violations. Yeah, so they're all just matching multiple locators. Cool. So what we'll do is we will say here, test IDs to this form. So the point of this video is just to show like how easy this is. It's not to necessarily talk about at scale. So what we're doing right is like 40, 50 smoke insanity tests. And it will be, I think, a total video of like maybe 20, 30 minutes. We'll do a lot more future videos on the more advanced stuff that it could do, particularly around like database seeding and some of the other components. But really, this is like bare minimum stuff. And like, to me, I think the point here is if you're not doing this bare minimum stuff, you're starting to already get like really left behind. All right, we will continue to let it work. You can see it's just adding test IDs to the HTML or the React, excuse me. Yeah, not React. I always mess this stuff up. I need to be better about terms. 4 failed. Now, for the record, what we probably could have done is even without looking at our failures, like I can guarantee we could have just dropped this in, tell it like, is this a bug or a test case failure? And it most likely would have identified that it is just basically a locator that's matching to multiple instances. I'm curious if it did negative tests. I'm also imagining that if we go back here, oh, it's because the creates didn't actually work. We'll see those in a second. Now it just updated the POM. Now we run. We don't run all the tests, but why not? It's fun. And we got a failure. Not visible. Create ticket. Should have created. Cool. Okay. So 29. Shoot. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this because it's going to open on my other screen. Yeah, it did. Okay. I will narrate. It's basically going to... Where are we at here? Where's my Chromium? Cool. Okay. We've logged in and it's trying to... Okay. So I think it's because the create ticket button's grayed out. So it's basically the test case is 29, should require, and then the expect validation to be disabled. Click submit. Okay, so it's failing. It's in fact disabled. The click submit is stopping the test from... We're just going to paste in the logs. So it's basically a grayed out button. Yep. And now it's doing exactly what it should have done, which is rather than trying to click the submit, it's just doing the expect. Okay. Now we're trying to go fix the next one, which is on 33. Cool. All right. This is a bug. Why it's a bug? Now let's see if it knows it's a bug actually. So let's paste it in. And let's say, is this a bug or a bad test? I just told you it's a bug. It's a bug because basically there's a console error when the form tries to do it, and it's wrong. So this is really important, right? It is going to assume that you're wrong. It was a bug. Let's see what it does if we tell it's wrong. In the meantime, while it's looking, I can show you. Create ticket. I think this is what it is. Create ticket. Yeah, see, does nothing. It fails. And it's because it's trying to do the AI thing. So let's just go here. And let's go ahead and say, make the AI analysis piece optional. I'm going to guess that fixes the last 2 bugs. Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah. Okay, so it's just done the updating of the AI analysis component, making it so it doesn't try to send it if we don't run it. So now updating the test cases. Before it updates the test case, let's go and see if it fixed it. And it fixed it, and now it's here. Okay. My guess is it's basically adding a message to the user if you do create ticket and there's not the env piece. We'll see. And it's updating. Yep. We're just going to have it comment out at test cases. All right, let's run the test. 22 passed, and we should see new tickets most likely. Yep, exactly. Unassigned to, perfect. Cool. All right, let's do the same thing with the next one. So we're at 22 tests. To be fair, I could get to 50 pretty quickly by just doing a bunch of negative tests, but just for one more example, we can just go ahead and do something a bit different. I guess this is a form. You know what, just because I'm assuming most people haven't watched the video up to this point, I will stop it for this video today. But over the next few days to few weeks, I'm going to be trying to get into much more of the technical side of things. We'll talk about some database seeding and some other things. But that was 22 tests in whatever this was, 20 minutes, which in hindsight, not super impressive. So next time I will try to do a lot more for the next video. All right, talk soon.